Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be a very important video, and that is all about our sides. What do we do with our sides? I get asked about that so many times you have no clue. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to this piece. I have sold it. I have to get it ready to go to its new home, and I'm going to explain how I do my sides. So, when I was originally creating this piece, I had taken my tape and I had taped all along the sides. I covered them right up to the surface, the pouring surface, all the way around. When I removed the tape, there was a little tiny bit of resin staining. You couldn't even feel it. It's just, it was wood, and you can see some color that stained the wood. So all that I needed to do on this set was paint the sides white with some acrylic paint. Now, if there had been resin drips on the side, I would have needed to get my little power sander and sand it all down to where it was flat. But in this case, it was not needed. So I painted those sides white, taped off the back again, okay? And now what I'm going to do is my top coat. And as you will see, as I do the top coat, I'm going to move that resin over the sides and coat them with my hands. It is very simple. I think this area scares a lot of people, and it really does not need to scare you. I can show you an example here of what I mean about drips on the side of a painting. Okay, so here is an older painting I had done. Now, do you see how messy that is? Now, for something like a canvas, you have two choices, because you really can't sand canvas without ripping it. You have two choices. You can either let the resin flow over and leave it organic like this, or while you are making this piece, while the resin is still wet, you need to take your hand and cover up the sides really well so they're coated. Okay, those are your two options. Another thing you can do would be, before you start painting or doing anything to your canvas, take the sides, paint them white, black, or a coordinating color that you're going to be using. Acrylic paint. Paint the sides nice, let them dry. Then you can tape off the sides after it dries. Do your painting, remove the tape, and then just touch up the paint a little bit if it rips off with the tape. And once that dries, do your top coat, let it go over, and then you'll have nice sides. Some people like this look. For me, it depends on what the painting is. Okay, if I look at the painting and I feel like it flows over naturally and it looks decent, then I'll keep it like that. Now this set, when I had originally made it, it's a 3-piece set. I forgot to smear the sides. I forgot to paint them. And I do not like the way that it looks because it was a repour. There's no purple in this painting, but there's purple on the sides. So therefore, I never try to fix them or anything. But some people like that organic look, how it just flows over the edge. And I can show you one more example of that, and then we will get started. I have one right over here. So this painting here, I decided to do the edges just as I was talking about. See how it flows over organically and it looks nice. It looks like it should be like that. Like the paint is just from the pathways extending over to the sides. So in that example, I will leave it. Sorry about that. So for this though, I had taped the sides to protect them. They were just plain wood sides. And now it's time for me to, now that the acrylic paint has dried that I used on the sides, time for me to coat the entire piece. So let's do that. Okay, so I have my resin all mixed up. I'm using Stone Coat resin. And what I will do, I've mixed this really good. I will still, because this is the final coat and I want it to be absolutely flawless, take another cup, pour it in. Because you don't know on that bottom, there could be a little bit that's left unmixed. We'll see if I'm right. Now, I really mixed this good for like 4 minutes. So I just want to see if I got every little bit of hardener mixed in, or if I missed a strand or two. Either way, it's a good practice, especially for the last final coat. And it's all mixed in perfectly. So, time to move on. Now, when it comes to stones, you want to try your best not to pour on top of them because it will take away from their shininess. So what I'm going to do is pour up to them, or where they start out, and then I'll get a little bit on the inside where the glitter is, but I don't want to cover the top. Well, I don't have enough resin to cover the tops of them anyway, but I'm just saying you want to try to keep them as visible as possible. So here we go. So I will add some onto this board. And I'm not worrying about the sides yet. Another thing you don't want to do is whatever you're balancing your painting on, do not have the cups sticking out like this on the side, because what will happen when the painting cures is it'll form a little ledge of resin that you're going to have to sand off. So make sure those are tucked away good underneath. I'm going to go right over here. Now see how I'm kind of going in between the stones? Eventually I'm going to tilt this so that it just flows through there. But I like to get a little tiny bit in there because resin will only go where it's been before. So that's why I like to create a little path for it to start flowing down through. All right. I'm going to do the same over here. I don't want to leave a large amount of resin in the cup, so I'm going to pour it out first and then worry about spreading it around. And now, top coats. I like to do top coats because you can design a painting, okay, and you have all the pretty colors, but this adds so much more dimension and just protects that artwork that you did. So that's why I like to do them. Are they 100% necessary? No. It's just added protection for the art. Try to spread it out a little bit before it all runs off and I waste it. You just got to kind of keep an eye on it. Bring it right up to the edge. We'll worry about those edges in a second. Okay, and then the last one. All right, so I have a little bit left here for spots that I'm going to need in the end. Now I'm just going to take my clean hand, and I'm not going to do all of these with you, just one. And I'm going to just start spreading it right up to the edge. Because I want to get the top coated first. I'll worry about this. The sides are the last thing that I do. All right, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to tilt it a little bit. And this is why it's important to have that tape underneath also, because if I didn't have that, I would get resin all on the bottom of my piece of art. So then you take your hand, okay, and you're going to start working a little bit of that resin over the edge and just coating it. And that's it. You're going to coat your piece, let it dry, and you're good to go. It's really not complicated. It's nothing to be scared about. So then what'll happen is you'll have nice shiny edges. So I'm going to finish doing these up, and then I'll show you the finished piece when I'm done. All right, guys, so here's the finished product. I'll just show you one. They're all the same. As you can see, the top coat is flawless. See if I can catch the glare there so you can see, nice and shiny. And sides, well, I don't know if you can see those too well. Anyway, they're coated. They're all dry, ready to go. So don't sweat too much over your sides. Just figure out what kind of look you want to go for, whether it be the natural overflowing look, or if you want to tape them off completely and then do something like I did here. Just paint them white and coat over them. Alrighty? So I hope you guys all have a great day. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. And as always, happy pouring.